I was Yashaba Rico from RicoScores, and I'm coming with the Washington Commanders 2024 Rookie Minicamp Day 1 observations. First look, I'm going to include some clips and everything, man, so you're going to get a chance to see the things that I saw as well. And I also, of course, have some major observations and analysis for the, of course, there's not much you can take from day 1 of Rookie Minicamp, but we're going to take away as much as we can, especially Jayden Daniels throwing bombs. The mechanics look smooth, and most importantly, he looks like a great leader. There's new energy in the building. It's not just Jayden Daniels, it's everybody involved. We have more media members there than a Rookie Minicamp of ever, so that it's just a whole new atmosphere right now. Also, we have a big time defensive tackle, early 2nd round pick Johnny Newton. Injury update, of course, he was out with a boot on his leg. We're going to talk about whether that's something we need to worry about or not. Also, of course, like who else? A Georgia wide receiver, my boy Marcus Osimi-Jacksaint had the catch of the day. We're going to talk about that, and I'm just super excited. We'll take a look at Luke McCaffrey, him running some routes as well. We have some Jayden Daniels throws involved. Cliff Kingsbury has some new energy to him. I know some people were a little down on him after he had his first initial press conference. This may change your opinion of him. So we're going to dive into all of that and more, but before we do, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned for all of the content. I'm keeping y'all updated on everything Commanders. I still have a lot of draft stuff I still need to get to. I still have film sessions to do for every single draft pick and even some notable undrafted free agents. But anything the Commanders got going on, anything with practices, media interviews, and things like that, press conferences, I'm keeping y'all updated and breaking those things down just like this video today. So stay tuned for all of the content. Make sure you follow all of the social media platforms. Daily content there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of that, man. And without further ado, instead of wasting more of y'all time, let's go ahead and get to this video. Stiff arm that like button right now. Let's get it. Adam. All right, so the first major observation was the fact that they even live stream Rookie Minicamp. Is that something they've ever done before? Now, of course, we're going to get to this later in the video where like they couldn't stream like the actual practice portion where there was like offense versus defense and 7-on-7 drills and things like that. They couldn't live stream that, but during the warm-ups and everybody getting hyped, the Jayden Daniels throwing some passes to some of the receivers and tight ends, handing the ball off to running backs. We saw players going through drills, all of those type of things. They were able to actually live stream that, and all of the media members that were there, any camera people, any reporters, any beat writers, they were all able to upload whatever footage they wanted to Twitter up to that point. Once they got to the actual practice portion of like 7-on-7s, we had to stop it. But again, the Commanders official YouTube channel and Twitter account, like the actual Washington Commanders, live streamed all of they could of Rookie Minicamp. When did we start doing that? And y'all saw in my video days ago, over a week ago, when I was saying that this is the first Rookie Minicamp that I've ever been pleading for the Washington Commanders to live stream. So you know I was super happy about them live streaming it. I was there the entire stream. You had Fred Smoot, Logan Paulson, Santana Moss, and those guys who are typically up there doing a great job. They had energy, but a lot of the energy came from the players. We're going to get there first of all. And you could already tell that the energy was going to be pretty high, or at least people assumed it would, because this Rookie Minicamp was very different. Look at these clips as you're seeing on the screen right now. Look at all of the media people setting up their expensive cameras. So many people watching. This is Rookie Minicamp. Scott Abraham even said, this is the most media I have ever seen at a Washington Commanders practice in my 8 years at 7 News DC. Everybody was questioning it. JP Finley said, totally normal to see this many people and cameras at Rookie Minicamp. Totally normal, being sarcastic. Nikki Javala was pointing out the fact that it looked very different. John Com said something about it. This was definitely not something that we typically see. And And this shows that the hype is building, man. Everybody is seeing the vision, from the hiring of Adam Peters to getting all of these elite, on paper, coaches, adding them to our coaching staff. And then free agency, we got so many more guys than we expected. And not even just quantity, but quality as well, signing for contracts worth less than what they potentially could have gotten with other teams. Like, we are clearly like a destination. Everybody's buying into this vision that Josh Harris and Adam Peters and Dan Quinn are building right now. And you could just tell by the fact that all these national media members were there at day one rookie mini camps. Jayden Daniels had a lot to deal with that, but it's also, there's just a real belief that this team is actually going to turn into something great, and hopefully sooner rather than later. And everybody's trying to get in on the ground floor before the ship is sailed, and now you're left off the bandwagon ship. But also, I want to point out the fact that people really don't understand how new this team is. I know y'all have heard me say it over and over again. I know y'all have even thought about it yourselves, but I truly don't think that people have really internalized how different this team is right now, how much of a clean sweep this actually is, because this will be a huge dramatic difference this season. Remember, Josh Harris didn't even actually buy the team yet this time last year. Like, 2024 is going to be a year to remember. I'm telling y'all right now, you will never, ever forget a year like this. This is the start to something great, man. If we go out to start winning Super Bowls, or at least contending for Super Bowls anytime soon within the next 5-10 years, this season will be the catalyst for that. That's why there's so much hype building around this. Even before Jayden Daniels threw his first practice throw, all of that national media was ready. And just to let y'all know, there were 35 players at rookie minicamp today in total, from what I'm seeing from different reporters, even though I wasn't there, so I can't 100% confirm that, but that's what I'm seeing. Also, and just in case y'all missed my previous updates and announcements, the 2024 rookie minicamp for the Washington Commanders goes from today, Friday, all the way through Sunday. So they're going to go again tomorrow, Saturday, and then the next day after that, Sunday as well. If the media are able to record and update us on anything that's going on, I will have breakdowns just like this one tomorrow and Sunday as well. But also, here, shouts out to John Com for providing this clip of what practice looked like, basically what they're practicing in the internal bubble, the practice bubble, and how everybody is out there, where everybody is, just like a quick pan of everything. And man, there was so much energy at that practice, man. At some point, they were doing some really fun ladder and agility drill after they broke out of some type of huddle that was like led by Jayden Daniels. They had everybody hype. Even the stream hosts, Fred Smoot, Logan Paulson, and Santana Moss, they were like talking about stuff, analyzing stuff, breaking down what they expect from the rookies and things like that. Next thing they know, the whole building is hype and everybody's confused as to what's going on. And I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn has a heavy influence on this. I'm pretty sure this is very Dan Quinn idea, like, to have this much energy at day one of rookie mini camps. We don't even have our full team out there. Again, only like 35 out of the 91 players on our entire roster, and we have this much energy. They look like they just went out there and scored a touchdown or something. It was crazy. Nobody was expecting it, but everybody loved it. Everywhere you look on Twitter right now, Commanders fans and reporters reacting like, man, we need more of this. This is wonderful. I'm so happy to see this level of energy. We have never seen this type of energy before. Scott Abraham even said on Twitter at live, like while it was happening, this is the most energy I've ever seen for a Commanders practice in years. And he's talking about training camp. He's talking about everything. And this is just literally day one of rookie mini camps, like you're seeing on the screen right now. And as you can also see, Jayden Daniels was also the one leading the surge with the energy. So it looks like it's potentially going to be like a seamless transition from him going to college to the NFL as a leader. Looks like that's a check mark. We'll see how he is around the veterans, especially guys that are like 5+ years older than him and things like that. Because right now, it's just a bunch of rookies or guys that are at worst 2 years maybe older than him on that field with him right now. But I'm pretty sure he's going to handle that perfectly well, just like he did today. I'm not worried about that at all. Now, speaking of quarterbacks, let's go ahead and move on to Jayden Daniels. And I'm going to have some clips rolling while we're talking, but you get his first look in a number 5 jersey. That's great. Loving that. Of course, you also have Sam Hartman out there as well. Those are your 2 quarterbacks at the rookie mini camps. Jayden Daniels, first round draft pick, second overall, and then Sam Hartman doesn't draft a free agent. But I mean, we're not going to sit here and even waste time on Sam Hartman. I know some of y'all may be fans of him, but we're here for Jayden Daniels, point blank period. I mean, ideally, best case scenario, Sam Hartman never has to make a throw for us ever in a regular season game. So, I mean, even as hype as some of y'all may be, the focus needs to be on Jayden Daniels. And of course, we have Jayden Daniels stretching for the first time in his NFL career here. And the only reason I'm showing y'all these random clips of him doing nothing really important is just the fact this is the first look. This is the first time we get to see Jayden Daniels. We have him throwing the ball back and forth between him and Mason Brooks. Then you have him working with Cliff Kingsbury, and I'm super excited about that. We're going to talk about Cliff Kingsbury a little later before we leave the quarterback section of this practice breakdown, because I'm telling y'all, Cliff Kingsbury is ready, man. And he's also taking snaps, you see, from under center. You see him taking snaps out of shotgun. So you can already see that Cliff Kingsbury is more than likely going to utilize a lot of both in his offense. And even while warming up, you had Jayden Daniels and Sam Hartman throwing to Ben Sinnott and Colson Yankoff. So those are like your two tight ends, I guess. But Colson Yankoff is also kind of like a fullback in a way as well. And of course, there were times while he was warming up that he was just working on his mechanics, you know, catching the ball out of shotgun, the ball getting snapped to him from a pretty far distance, and then working through his footwork and things like that, like you see on the screen. And then you also had some moments of him like practicing handing the ball off to the running backs, like one time out of shotgun like this clip here. And then even from under center, like it looks like a handoff to the running back and roll out. Now he handed it to the running back, but then as you see later in the clip, somebody throws him a ball. So as if he didn't hand it to the running back as play action, he has the ball and he's already looking to roll out and potentially throw the ball. So I like that. And I also liked how much fun Jayden Daniels was having with the players, man. From everything that I'm seeing in the clips that I saw and what reporters are saying, he was laughing, he was dancing, he didn't look nervous at all. He looks like he's ready for the moment. He's just out there having fun. And if anything, he really just looks like a guy that everybody wants to hang around, and also looks like a guy that's just as excited as we fans are about him. He's excited about being able to play for the Washington Commanders and show out in front of us. So it's mutual excitement there. I'm super excited. And also Fred Smoot and those guys that were live streaming said that there's a pretty big difference between Jayden Daniels' arm and Sam Hartman's. Smoot even called Jayden Daniels' arm a laser, like specifically that word. And reporter Zach Selby, who was also there, said the same thing when he tweeted, man, the ball really does zip out of Jayden Daniels' hand. So I hope y'all no longer ever have to worry about that, but we'll see. And then you also have a nice throw in a drill where he throws it to Yankoff, and it was a pretty nice grab by him. But I also like the throw from Jayden Daniels. You can see on the screen right now. Like I'm telling you, that thing has some zip on it. Like it did look like he threw that with some arm strength there, man. I'm not really worried about the arm strength questions. Like I've already said in my breakdowns of Jayden Daniels, even if he does have any slight arm strength concerns, what does it matter when he was literally the best deep ball thrower in all of college football last year? So I'm not really worried about it. And speaking of deep throws, look at this one right here. I mean, look how smooth the motion and mechanics are. I mean, it looks like it's a layup to him, and then it was like a dot down the field. I'm super excited. I think we're going to attack down the field so often, just off of the fact that, again, he was the best deep ball thrower in all of college football last year, and that's going to be to his advantage a lot. That's going to open up things underneath for him. I'm super excited. Again, of course, this is just rookie mini camps. There's not even anybody defending against this, but that throw was amazing, man. So fluid, so nice. And Scott Abraham, who was at practice, also said, quote, I've watched Jayden Daniels throw for the last 2 minutes. Looks so effortless on the deep ball. Just a flick of the wrist. Really impressive. And then also sticking with the quarterbacks, everybody at the practice noticed how much juice and energy Cliff Kingsbury had with the quarterbacks. He's fired up and passionate about this 2024 season and the opportunity he has being the offensive coordinator for this now positive trajectory having Washington Commanders. I mean, you see this clip right here where it looks like he's not playing. Like he looks like he's like very detailed. Like, I want this exactly like this. I need this exactly like this. And you see him literally like showing Jayden Daniels what he wants, doing it for him and everything like that. I love it, man. And did y'all also see, speaking of Cliff Kingsbury and how fired up he is, did you see how happy he was when we drafted Jayden Daniels? I mean, look at these pictures right here, man. I mean, that guy looks like he is the most excited person out of this whole coaching staff and front office, man. He's over there hugging Adam Peters like, thank you for getting me this guy in Jayden Daniels, man. And I know a lot of people felt like from his introductory press conference that he came off a little arrogant and nonchalant, like, But first of all, that didn't bother me at all. I was cool with it. I like it. I love confidence no matter what it comes in. And then look at him now. Like, secondly, look at what he is. He got himself a quarterback, and now he's acting different. Look at the smiles, man. He was not smiling like that at all before we drafted Jayden Daniels. Now moving on to the wide receivers. Commanders' third-round pick Luke McCaffrey was out there in practice as well, along with Bryson Tremaine, who right now, those are your two tallest receivers that you can see in this clip right now. These are literally your two tallest receivers on the entire roster. Luke McCaffrey is 6'2". Bryson Tremaine, an undrafted free agent from last year, at 6'5", I believe. We'll see if Bryson Tremaine can make the roster just simply because of his unique trait of being the tallest receiver we have, especially outside of the tight end room. We'll see how that goes. That's just somebody to watch. Also, you have Luke McCaffrey catching passes as well, doing some drills and things like that, just doing what he got to do. You see him in multiple clips, him out there looking pretty smooth with his route running. Again, mind you, this is a guy that has only been playing wide receiver for 2 years of his life. He was a quarterback up to this point. He had the quickest short shuttle out of any wide receiver out of this entire draft class and the second quickest 3-cone, and you're seeing a lot of that with his footwork and how fluid he looks running routes in these clips. Now moving on, defensive line wise, you had second-round pick defensive lineman Johnny Newton out there with a boot on his left foot. He had surgery after the season sometime in January for a Jones fracture in that foot. And Ben Standig tweeted, no Johnny Newton on the field for warm-up. Sounds like the defensive tackle is working on the side with trainers coming off of a Jones fracture injury. Not considered an issue. So from what he's hearing, he's one of the people that's closest to the Commanders, and he's saying that it's not considered an issue. We should be straight. Then he gave an update shortly afterwards. He said Newton is here inside the bubble, rainy day in Ashburn, on the sideline at the start, and I'm guessing throughout. And I'm not gonna lie, man, even though he is dealing with that injury, I like the fact that he's at least out there with the team. Even though he can't physically do everything that everybody else is doing, he's still with the team, and that's important to me. Also, it is kind of weird though that he did say he was 100% after we drafted him, like literally said 100%. But again, I'm not worried about it at all. If the Commanders reporters are saying that it's a non-issue, that's how I'm gonna treat it until noted otherwise. Now also moving on to offensive lineman, Brandon Coleman is huge, y'all. Like, look at this clip right here with him next to another offensive lineman, man. That guy is huge. These are both offensive linemen that you're seeing on your screen, and Brandon Coleman is just a way bigger person. If you're questioning whether he can play left tackle or not, I'm hoping that seeing as big as he is right there, everything should be fine. He's considered short. He doesn't really look short there to me. And even when short, he still has really long arms. And now you add that to the height that he has, I think he's perfectly fine. And then the plus athlete, the extreme athleticism, tested like a top 7 most athletic offensive lineman in the NFL at the combine. I'm not worried about it at all. And now moving on to tight end, again, you saw our boy Ben Sinnott out there at times, and he's wearing 82, which I'm surprised about. I thought he would wear something more Chris Cooley-ish 47. He wore 34 in college, something more fullback-ish a little bit. Kyle Juszczyk role looking guy, but he's out there looking like another Zach Ertz with the number, the way that he's built and everything like that. I'm cool with it. And then linebacker wise, you have 5th round pick Jordan McGee going through bag drills. He's looking pretty solid there. I'm liking the footwork. You see him in pass coverage drills as well, and I think he's pretty straight, man. I'm really excited about his potential, as you can see it in the clips on the screen right now. And then cornerback wise, here's a little bit of 2nd round pick from Michigan, Mike Sanderstill. You know, just a quick little drill, nothing really much to take from there, but again, anything that I can find, I'm gonna bring to y'all. And then also moving on, just an update. Ben Standig shouts out to the update here, along with the draft picks and undrafted free agent signings from this class, the 2024 class for both. The Commanders also have 9 tryout players here for rookie minicamp, plus the following holdovers from last season: undrafted free agents Casmir Allen, Bryson Tremaine, who we talked about earlier, Mason Brooks, and Nick Whiteside as well. But it is really interesting though, because I guess they're allowed to be here because they were on the practice squad last year, but a lot of people pointed out the fact, mostly JP Finley, that Jayden Daniels didn't seem to be out there. And that's really interesting because maybe it's because he was on IR last year, so maybe that's why he's not eligible. I don't know, but And since he technically wasn't on the practice squad, but I would hope that if Jayden Daniels could be out there, he would be out there. But again, like I've already said previously, I'm not sure if this new regime is willing to take over a project from a previous regime. Brandon Coleman is already considered to be your developmental project tackle. I'm not sure if they want to take on what Ron Rivera and those guys deemed as a project tackle and Jayden Daniels. We'll see though. Also, speaking of those names that I just gave you with Casmir Allen, Bryson Tremaine, Mason Brooks, and Nick Whiteside, the most notable ones are Casmir Allen and Mason Brooks for sure. Can Casmir Allen make the 53-man roster as a returner with the new kickoff rules? Maybe as a receiver as well, but I think his quickest path to making a 53 is more than likely through his return ability, kickoffs, punts, whatever. And then also, can Mason Brooks go from 2023 priority undrafted free agent? A lot of people wanted him. He chose us. And can he be a guy that ends up making a 53-man roster as like a backup interior offensive lineman? Remember, the reason I really want to isolate these two guys from the rest of that group is that Adam Peters' very first move as a general manager roster-wise was to make sure that we got these guys signed. Even before we released Charles Leno and Logan Thomas, he went and made sure he signed these two guys to future contracts. So I'm not saying that it's very likely that they will make the 53-man roster, but there is real interest from Adam Peters and this coaching staff with the way that they made sure they went and got those guys. Literally the first roster move those guys made, the first move that they made outside of coaching hires, front office hires, was signing those guys. So I believe they definitely will be given plenty of opportunities to go out there and show that they should be able to make the 53-man roster if they can. And then also, moving on now from the warm-up portion of practice, now let's get to the actual practice, like 7-on-7s. And this is very short because, of course, the national media was not allowed to show this portion of practice. And I'm pretty sure they weren't even allowed to necessarily tweet about it, especially like specific route concepts and things like that. That's the reason they want to avoid people recording it. They don't want other teams knowing what we're doing right now. Even though it is just 7-on-7s, rookie mini camps, the Commanders are locking everything down, just like they've done with everything else this offseason. Nothing is leaked, pretty for the most part. And so we really only got like a few major notes from the practice portion of this rookie mini camp. Again, nobody's really allowed to show this, record it, talk about it or whatever. Only a couple of notable things. So let's actually get to the real practice, which is what y'all are probably here for. But then again, we only have a little bit of evidence here, so I have no clips to show y'all, and it's not going to last very long. But first of all, first snap of 7-on-7s, Jayden Daniels hit Ben Sinnott for a reception. And also, shouts out to Zach Selby, because for not only tweeting this, but the way that he worded it. For those of y'all who actually somehow care about 7-on-7s in May with players in helmets and shorts, Jayden Daniels started the practice 6 for 6 with 2 completions to Luke McCaffrey. So go ahead and start building that hype. Go ahead and start getting that hype going. Jayden Daniels is out here killing them in practice. 7-on-7, helmets and shorts, May. First rookie camp mini practice. And so it's not really much to take from it, but it is funny that, hey man, that guy started off 6 for 6 and he already has a little bit of chemistry with Luke McCaffrey. But again, it's only rookies and undrafted free agents and tryout players out there right now. So what can you really take from it? But of course, you know what I'm gonna take from it. And I know that y'all heard about my Georgia dog having the catch of the day. My Georgia Bulldog, undrafted free agent, wide receiver, Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint made the catch of the day with a leaping one-handed grab from Jayden Daniels over the middle of the field. JP Finley tweeted, Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint just made an outrageous one-handed catch. That's how you get noticed. And he also noted that we're not allowed to record during this period, thus no video on his side, but he said that he bets that the team will post it later because it apparently was a ridiculous catch. Of course, I haven't seen it either, but what was I telling y'all, man? And it's really funny too because I had people hit me up on Twitter making sure that I heard about it and saw it and things like that, and I'm just sitting here like, I told y'all. First of all, I already knew. I was already up on it. I've been refreshing the Twitter over and over again before I started recording this video, but I told y'all, man. I told y'all that Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint was nothing to be played with. Now, of course, I'm not even necessarily sure he's going to even make the 53-man roster, but if you go check out my Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint breakdown, weaknesses, strengths, comp, all of that type of stuff that I did a couple of weeks ago when we first signed him as an undrafted free agent after we finished up our 2024 draft class. I already told you back then, do not be surprised if he goes out there and looks like our best receiver day one, especially going into rookie mini camps. Don't be surprised if he looks like our best receiver early on, and especially out of the younger guys. Of course, not including Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson. I'm talking about next to like Luke McCaffrey or any other undrafted free agent younger wide receivers that we have in there. I told you, don't be surprised. He doesn't have much of a ceiling, even though it sucks too because he was really athletic. He had a very high ceiling until he had that really good game. I believe it was against Florida, but at the same time, it was bittersweet. He had his best game up to that point in this short college career, his rookie season, his freshman season for Georgia, and then he also had that severe leg injury, and it seems like he's just never been as explosive, as quick, and as fast, as athletic as he was since before that injury happened. But I told y'all, with the way that he's had to go up against dogs in the SEC on a weekly basis, he was one of our most dependable. You can trust that he's going to be out there, healthy targets. I love A.D. Mitchell, but that man missed so many games. George Pickens missed so many games. Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint was always a very dependable target, even when our better receivers, our bigger playmakers were unavailable due to injuries or whatever happened. And he had to go against guys like Kool-Aid McKinstry and all of those guys on a yearly basis, just the SEC alone. So I already knew he was going to come in nuanced. He's going to come in as a good route runner. He's going to come in with hands. Luke McCaffrey obviously has the way higher ceiling. I wouldn't be surprised before we even get well into training camp that Luke McCaffrey is the better receiver. But I was not surprised at all that Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint is sticking out as a receiver day one of rookie mini camps, because he's the most seasoned receiver that we have out of that 35 guys that we have. I don't know how many receivers we had, maybe like 3-4 receivers, a couple of tight ends. I'm not surprised that Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint looked the best day one. But again, even as a Georgia Bulldog fan, I can admit that Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint may not even make the 53-man roster, because I'm assuming guys like Casmir Allen and Luke McCaffrey, who are more athletic, quicker, faster, and have higher ceilings, right now lower floors, but higher ceilings, will eventually surpass him on the depth chart. But as of right now, I'm not the least bit surprised. And, it's a Georgia dog, so what y'all want me to do, man? And of course, the rookies are right now talking to the media after practice as I'm recording this. I may come out with a video analysis, like breaking that down, what they said later on. We'll see. But right now, I just wanted to make sure I talked about what I saw and heard from this practice and give y'all some of the clips from it as well. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned for all of the content. Again, I'm keeping y'all updated on everything Commanders, even if it's a new hire, if it's a new signing, veteran free agent, any practices, whatever notes, clips I can get, I got y'all. Your one-stop shop for everything Commanders, I promise. And of course, I still have to do my Johnny Newton breakdown from the draft like I did everybody else, even some undrafted free agents like my dog Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. Everybody gets their own individual 30-minute plus video, weaknesses, strengths, comps, and things like that. So the Johnny Newton version of that is on the way. That will be the final draft pick I need to break down. And then I'll also have my overall draft grade and review. And the reason it's taking this long is, first of all, I have to talk about so many other things going on with the Commanders. Again, I'm the one-stop shop for everything, but also I'm really watching tape on these guys. Like I'm not just sitting here just doing individual breakdowns on each of these guys that we just drafted just out of nowhere. I'm actually taking the time. I really want to watch tape on these guys before I do these breakdowns. And I'm already done. I've already watched all the tape on Johnny Newton, but now other things are just getting in the way, like this rookie mini camp that's causing me to delay it a little bit. But either way, all of that stuff is on the way. And then of course, I'm also doing film sessions on every single draft pick and even some of the notable and drafted free agents as well. So stay tuned for that. So every person that we drafted is getting at least 2 videos breaking them down. A regular video breakdown like I've already done for everybody else except for Johnny Newton so far, and then also film sessions for each one of them as well. So make sure you go become a channel member so you can get those exclusive film sessions. And without further ado, man, I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out.